2 years ago, I tried to catch 134 Hoenn Pokémon in 8 hours, and I failed. Last year, I tried to catch 104 Sinnoh Pokémon in 24 hours, in which I succeeded. And this year, I'm gonna try it again. Can I catch all 156 Unova Pokémon in 8 hours? No. Just like last year and the year before, due to some mythical Pokémon being really annoying to get or just straight up impossible, I'm not going to be able to get all 156 Unova Pokémon in just 8 hours. But that shouldn't ruin the challenge. So let's see if I can catch 154 Unova Pokémon in 8 hours. This is a list of all the Pokémon that I need to catch during the challenge. Now of course Unova Tour is from 10 AM till 6 PM, but due to the way that you can catch certain legendary Pokémon, I can't actually use this 8-hour time frame, so instead I'll have to go from 9 AM till 5 PM. So let's start this challenge Saturday morning, 9 AM. Alright ladies and gentlemen, it just became 9 AM, the challenge has started, and let's start off the Unova challenge with the first Pokemon of the Unova Pokédex, Victini in what looks like to be the Liberty Garden. Nice little cutscene. Let's start off by catching Victini. Alright, and now that we caught Victini, let's go catch all these legendaries, which is the sole reason we started early. Like with this shiny Terrakion. What? Okay, well that's our Terrakion for today, I suppose. Well, I'm gonna go catch all of these legendaries with Pinap Berries, which might take a while, so let's do a little bit of a time lapse. And here's Cobalion. Here we have Virizion. Next up it's time for the Weather Brothers, starting with Tornadus. Alright, then we get Thundurus. Alright, last up. No, that's not last up. That is Landorus. That's not the last one. Let's catch Landorus first. Alright, last up we got Genesect. Now I know I really only care about catching all 154 unique Unova Pokemon. I am actually gonna try and catch all Forms Fall Pokemon, as Unova doesn't have too many anyway. So we're starting with Genesect Normal Drive. Here is Genesect Burn Drive. Alright, next up is Dose Genesect. Second to last we got Shock Genesect. And lastly we got Chill Genesect. Now there of course already are another couple of Pokemon that I can catch now, because they will not be available during the Unova Tour, like for instance, Sandile. And alongside Sandile we of course have Mienfur, as well as his other 12k buddies, like Pawniard and also Vullaby. And after those there are a couple more Pokemon that we can catch, like the egg exclusive Pokemon, like Maractus. Now, 2 years ago, I failed the challenge due to some stupid egg Pokemon, and I don't want to do that again, so I've just prepared all of the Pokemon that you can get from eggs as a catch encounter, so I can't fail on me missing a Pokemon because I can't hatch it, like Bouffalant. Now of course, it's not gonna work for Larvesta. Larvesta we're gonna have to get lucky on and hatch it, but I think we can do it. Alright, we also got Stitcher. Whoa! That's a shiny Sigilif. Okay. What? that's sick. I was not expecting to just get that from this. But, okay, I'll take it, I guess. What the freak? That's actually insane. Whoa. Well, anyway, there are a couple of other egg-exclusive Pokemon, like Carablast, I can catch right now. Now, you saw that I still have one Hatch 2 Egg quest remaining. That will be my Shelmet encounter. I haven't hatched the egg yet, so that will come in a little bit. Just like I also have not yet caught 156 Unova Pokemon, so the other Weather Genies, they'll also come in a bit. But basically, everything else I'm going to be catching during the actual 8-hour event. So, let's see what I manage to get once that starts. But before the event actually starts, as promised, there are of course a couple of more Pokemon we can get, like Shelmet, and as you might be able to hear, I am not out here in nature right now, next to a road. This is actually a voiceover, because during the actual event I played with other people. I only spoke Dutch, I didn't really speak English. Also, here's our Landorus incarnate form. And because I didn't speak Dutch, there were two options for me. Shiny Tornadus, I know, my luck is crazy. Right now it is, at least. Let's not talk about what happened during the rest of the event. But yeah, I had two options, and that was to either add subtitles, here's Thunderous, or just do a voiceover like I'm doing right now. So I'll be doing a voiceover instead, as it's a lot easier to edit. It's probably a lot nicer for you guys to listen to, as you don't have to read translated lines. Here we have our blue striped Basculin and our red striped Basculin. And then the event actually starts, and it starts, of course, with Sunglass Shiny Squirtle, because what else would it start with? Now, obviously this is just a Zorua, and after we catch Zorua, that is the beginning of the winter hour of the event. And during the winter hour, the first thing we do, Shiny Sandile, is hatch a Shiny Sandile. It's not even, this is an old 12k, it's not even a part of the event. I just got lucky with that, which I'm very happy with. But anyway, now that the hour actually started, here we have our first encounter of the regular habitats, which is a Deerling. After Deerling, I also managed to get myself a Clink. After Clink, we go ahead and catch ourselves a Vanillite. After Vanillite, we get the Community Ambassador medal, cool, but also Cupchew, which I'm more interested in right now. We also get ourselves a Joltik. Shiny Deerling! First random wild shiny of the event. I mean, obviously I got a bunch more Deerling, but this is the first one, which I'm already very happy with. And after that Deerling, we're not done yet. We still gotta get ourselves a Minccino, as well as after the Minccino we can go catch ourselves my favorite boy. It is Axew. And after Axew, we can also get ourselves a Tirtouga. And after Tirtouga, we run away from a Pikachu to catch a Cryogonal. After Cryogonal, it's time for Woobat. And after Woobat, it is time for Roggenrola. That leaves, I think, just 2 or 3 remaining. Oh, shiny Pikachu. But first we get a shiny Pikachu, which I already had caught before, which is why I wasn't super excited for this. I already caught this, I think, this form was the day before the event started, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, here we have our first Oshawott, as well as our encounter with Tynamo, which for some reason is not shrinking. Why is it not shrinking? Yeah, I wonder. Thanks, Tynamo. Alright, we'll have to recatch that in a bit. But before we find ourselves another Tynamo, here's our Drillbur. And Unearned V, that's not a Unova Pokemon. But there is one other great reason why I wanted to catch this Unearned V. Actually, fun fact, the day after I caught Unearned V, which is day 2 of Unova Tour, at 8 AM I also managed to catch myself an Unearned Q, which I was still missing. But the reason I wanted Unearned V recorded is because of this. 26 unique unknown caught without traits. And if you keep the Unearned Q in mind, that is 27, which means all I need is Unearned Z. And then I'm done with all the unknown. Anyway, there we have our Tynamo Reclaim, as well as a party challenge reward in the terms of a Durant. Because after the first hour of spawns are over, there are still a bunch of other Pokemon that we can catch during the first hour. Durant just being an example of that. And after that we can also, hatch some 5Ks. We can get a couple more Pokemon out of that, like a Sock. And funnily enough, Pokemon I was worried about most, Larvesta was hatched out of like one of the first batches of eggs in this event. We'll take that. Anyway, next up, let's do a Kyurem raid. And after we did a nice little Kyurem raid, of course we're gonna catch him, which I actually managed to catch probably like 99% of the Kyurem that I encountered during this event, which some people were complaining that he was hard to catch, but I really did not have that many issues. Anyway, after Kyurem, we can hatch some more eggs, get ourselves our Heatmor, which just leaves one 5k Pokemon left to get. And alright, after that the second hour started, and I started off my second hour with an Ordinary, which is of course notoriously bad to catch, so let's speed it up. And after the Ordinary, I managed to get myself a Petalil, and after I caught this Petalil, I was like, you know what? Let's actually go into my checklist and check him off the checklist. What can go wrong? Everything. My recording just stopped here, which was so frustrating. Now, luckily, I noticed after only 15 minutes, I mean, I had already caught everything, but I was able to restart the recording and re-record everything. And the first Pokemon that we recaptured turned out to be Timber. After Timber, we also refound ourselves a nice Ferroseed. After Ferroseed, we got the Duck Pokemon. And after that, we found our starter Snivy. After Snivy, we got an Alomomola, followed by a Deerling. Again, Deerling is not on the checklist anymore, but I still want to catch all the forms. We then get a Munna, we get a Cottonee, and we get a Pansage, which means there are just 3 remaining, which are Venipede, Fungus, and with Swaddle, I actually caught, only 40 minutes into the hour. We finished all the catches of the hour. We also hatched ourselves a nice little throw, and we finished the hour with a nice Zekrom raid. And yeah, fun fact, during the Zekrom raid, my recording stopped again. My recording program was just absolutely glitching AF. Like you can see it right there. Boom. Recording stops again. I don't know why it does that. After the Zekrom raid, I decided to restart my phone just entirely, and the rest of the day recordings were going smoothly again, until the next day. Day 2, it happened again. Now, of course I was recording day 2 for the Shiny compilation, not for this specific video, but I don't know why it was doing that. It was so incredibly annoying. But yeah, I mean, after we called Zekrom, it's time for the summer hour, where we started off with a Deerling, followed by a Trubbish, and after that we can catch a Darumaka. After Darumaka we get an Archon. After Archon we get a Blitzel. Blitzel is followed up by a Temple. After Temple we get Tepig, and at this rate, after we catch this Pitoff, it is going quite fast this hour. It's just a bunch of catches that we need to do, like Rufflet. We can get ourselves a Stunfisk. Stunfisk is followed by Dwebble. After Dwebble we get a Mulga. A Mulga is followed up by a Lillipup, which means all we still need is Pansear. And after I caught a Pansear, me and the people I was playing with were sitting down at a restaurant to do some eating, which means it is time to do some evolutions. And alright, after using a bit of rare candy to be able to evolve our Larvesta into Volcarona, that is done with, I think, 54 evolutions out of all the ones that we need. 58 actually, my bad. Which means it is time for the next hour, where we can catch ourselves a Gothita, and obviously we can also catch a Dino. Now at this point we were still sitting in a restaurant, so you might see a bit of a time jump until after we leave the restaurant, before we actually catch the remaining Pokemon. But Berline was still caught in the restaurant, so was Litwick, And I think the next Pokemon, which is a diner, was also caught in the restaurant. Pampor was apparently also caught in the restaurant, and so is Autumn Form Deerling, as well as Solosis. There were actually quite a lot of Pokemon reachable from within the restaurant, like Scraggy and Frillish. But after that we finally left the restaurant, but whilst leaving an LGM spawned, and then we just got ourselves a female Frillish, followed by a Yamask. After Yamask we just gotta get Patrat, and after Patrat it is Golett, which means we are already done with all the spawns of the event, and as you can see, there are just 2 Pokemon left and a bunch of evolutions, but now that I've caught all the base forms, let's do some evolving again. And with all of the evolutions out of the way, all we gotta do is do 2 raids for a Reshiram and a Druddigon. Starting with the Reshiram, let's see how easily we can catch this thing. Alright, Reshiram has been defeated. Actually, fun fact, finding Reshiram and Druddigon was surprisingly annoying. And if I had not found Reshiram this hour, I'd have to wait until I had less than an hour left to actually catch the Reshiram. And by the looks of it, because I ranked up, Reshiram was actually caught in the first ball, which is quite nice and easy. Which means all I need to do is find myself a Druddigon raid, for which I actually had to go quite far out of my way to reach this thing. But we reached it. Let's defeat this thing. And there we go, that is Druddigon defeated. All we gotta do is catch this thing, which marks the end of the Unova challenge, and I actually succeeded to catch all of them in just 2 hours, 14 minutes and 16 seconds remaining. And that was it! With over 2 hours left on the timer, we actually managed to catch all 154 Unova Pokemon. If you want to try this challenge yourself, you gotta wait another year for Kalos Tour, where I'll be trying the challenge again, obviously. Probably with a couple more forms thrown in, as you know, Kalos only has 78 Pokemon. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the video. A bunch more videos are gonna come out before the next Kalos video. Watch those too if you want to watch some more content, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye!